Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormy B-Man, and I am back. And I want to welcome you all to this evening's boxing conversation. We're calling this one Toxic Positivity in Boxing. Who's raising these individuals? First of all, I want to say shout out to the LDBC, the mighty LDBC, and everybody that's out there that'll catch this on live as well as on the replay and playback. Salute to my brother Drew Titan, who is busy with family affairs this evening. So I've been entrusted to go ahead and continue to provide some content as well as some editorial on the sport, various individuals in the sport, and see if we can have a conversation about some issues that have recently seemingly taken the sport by storm. It's like there's something going on with the participants in the sport, the people who cover the sport, and there's a lot of negative energy circling around the sport. It's bad enough that we don't get the fights that we would like to see as much as we should, but it's even more bad when we see individuals who participate in the sport who continue to allow the separation instead of the coming together of the athletes who perform, and that trickles down into creating separation of the people who like to tune in and give support to said athletes. So with that, it's something that should be discussed. But welcome everybody that's out there. Don't forget to smash that like button. We're here for this 4th of July evening, Sunday evening. Some of you may not get, I think, tomorrow off because of the holiday. Some people will. But all the same, I hope that everyone's having a safe, healthy, and happy day with their family. So I wanted to give an acknowledgement to a new subscriber to the Stormy B-Man channel who became a member. We got Simon Bridgman out there. Salute to you, brother. I saw your message and I saw that you have elected to join the channel, man, and much appreciated for that. Stormy is always trying to drum that up, and it's nice to see positive response to that. Mr. Padzor was out there early in the afternoon, smashing up the like button and sending a message in of support. Brown on Boxing was doing the same. Simon Bridgman, again, in that pre-fight, I say pre-fight, in the pre-show comments, he's saying salute. Andrew Charles out there saluting us as well. We got Dead Game Boxing out there. Black Alpha DT channel member is out there, says salute Stormy B-Man in chat. Salute to you. Loco Sports is out there. What's good with you, Loco? Kano, if you want to get on and talk a little bit about this subject with me this evening, you're more than welcome. I could shoot you an email on it real quick. I have put some emails out to some of the family out there, and if anybody is available to join, I would hope to have someone on here, because this particular subject is something that we all can chime in. It's not relegated to just myself and my particular stance or whatever, but it'd be nice to hear some other voices chime in on this particular topic, because I do believe not only is it something that's affecting the community, but again, it affects us socially as well. You know, you're seeing a lot of people, man, who kind of, the only way to say it is they are separated by this means of this mental and psychological approach to things, you know. So who else we got out there? We got Don Shotta out there. He says, salute to you, Don Shotta. Brooklyn Born is out there. I take it that Brooklyn Born may be one of Drew's people out there, because I know Brooklyn is in the house. And Ratchet, since 91, is out there, says, salute Stormy in chat. Salute to you, my man, Watcher. Good to see you out there, Watcher. Watcher is always out. He does good content on his own channel, man. Watcher is a good dude. Signs of the Times, TV IQ, he says, salute Stormy. And King Carr is out there, says, salute Stormy B, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. I just got a message. Okay. Yeah. So we'll get into this subject in just a minute. Just going through a little roll call out here. My messages are going on. Let's see. Okay, we got messages coming in on my phone as I'm trying to do the show. So people, as they decide to respond once I went live. It's like, dude, I contacted you guys like 30 minutes ago. It's like, what's up with that, man? So, but hey, it's all good. We're going to get down into this as I finish going through this roll call real briefly. Just a second. I'm trying to get something else together here real quick. And we're going to welcome my man, Loco Sports. What's good with you, brother? How you doing out there this evening, man? And happy 4th to you if you celebrate that kind of thing. And I hope that you and your family were enjoying your day today.
Yes, sir. But I got to find the damn light switch for this lamp I got above here, man. But everything's going well, man. I did my little quick live on the fights last night. I didn't go too deep into them because some of these subjects were kind of touchy, man. But I gave my take on it, man, you know, and addressed a few issues too about, you know, the toxicity going on in the boxing, man. So yeah, I was gonna tell you to send me. Damn, I look bright as hell on this, man. Shit. All right. Anyway, let's get it.
Yes, sir. And again, that title that I chose for this evening's show, I mentioned it to Drew Titan when he found out that he wasn't going to necessarily be on this evening. He encouraged me to go ahead and speak on this evening. And it's not that I wanted so many people to come on. I just wanted a couple of other voices, you know, so there may be one or two more people that'll join us in a moment, which is fine. But where I got this particular phrase in the title, toxic positivity, you know, we're just months removed from the old administration in the White House of Donald Trump, and the damage that he left in the wake of running this country ass backwards at 100 miles an hour toward the lake or the ocean. It's going to be something. I don't know that this country will recover, but it has been uncovered, the nastiness. And before I go further, I want to welcome our man Trick Nolte out there. What's going on with you, Trick? Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you too. What's going on with Chicano Local? Happy 4th of July to both of y'all, your brothers, man.
What's going on, Trick Nolte, man? Shit, it's been a while, man. It's been a while since we spoke.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute, man. You doing all right?
Man, hey, I can't complain at all, man. Not that anybody would give a damn if I started complaining, right?
That's what I always say, man. I can't complain if I did when nobody listened, man. So yeah,
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to get set up here, man. I'm doing it on my phone, trying to get it. There we go. All right, y'all. What's going on with you, man? What you cooking on? I just hopped on, man.
Well, yeah, we're about to state, what it's going to be about and everything. The title of this show, um, positive, uh, toxic positivity.
Yo, okay.
I picked that up from something that I was, I won't say investigating, but I was researching into some issues that the entertainer, Monique, the entertainer, she's been in and out of the news over the past couple of years because she made some choices career wise that have seen a lot of people turn against her in the entertainment industry. And she and her husband have stood as a solid foundation together against a lot of the wrongness that takes place that people don't know about. More or less it's behind the scenes stuff, but publicly the industry likes to show a united front, and it'll make an individual who has made personal choices look like a villain,
Right.
because the industry represents something that is all encompassing, but it's large. It's a huge unit. And when you're talking about an individual against a unit, more than likely people are going to believe the unit because the individual has to be wrong because they didn't go along. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes integrity and principality comes with people, and you can't buy that. And Monique has recently come back in the news because she made out in public their house bonnets and dressed inappropriately and things of that nature, and everybody's attacking her for saying these things. But she said them based on the principles of how, when you've had discipline in your own household, how you were raised. And that's part of this other aspect of the title of tonight's show: who's raising these individuals? Because as we get ready to get into talking about them, you have to go back to what I'm saying about this thing with Monique, you see, because Monique is speaking like a woman who had proper upbringing, who was introduced to what's right and what's wrong, and it's reflective in the choices that she made with her career and how she has come out and spoken about these things. And now the people are attacking her again. Even entertainers are attacking her. And one particular person attacked her with the comment, "Get out of here with your toxic positivity." Now you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Toxic positivity is a phrase that is utilized by someone who speaks with the same forked tongue of someone who said during the Trump administration, alternative facts. What the hell is that? Alternative facts? You're talking about the opposite of what truth is. So if it's an alternative, it's got to be something negative, right? So toxic positivity has to be something that is an oxymoron. You think about it. When you're talking about positivity, you're talking about, hey, something that's good, something that is on the path of correctness, right? But if it's toxic, how could it be those things? Do you see where I'm going here? Now, how does that correlate with boxing? We're talking about individuals who are participating in the sport. And even in this backdrop that you see from my banner that I made called Loon, Coon, and Buffoonery, a series of shows that I've done on my channel, where it's various personalities in the sport of boxing who have been toxic toward the sport and individual participants of the sport just because they have microphones and they are scribes, you know, for the sport covering. But that doesn't necessarily make them good. You understand? Because just like when something is spoiled and you put it out to trash, you have to know and separate your beans from your cornbread when you're dealing with these individuals in the sport of boxing. So, bringing it home, this individual right here, last night, had a fight, okay? And he is a toxic individual, but there's no positivity that go along with that toxicity, because this young man right here has done more damage in the past week to people who are not in the know, who people who are not aware of certain things, with his mouth. Okay? And doesn't even have the wherewithal or the worldliness to understand what to be disciplined is, to keep something in reserve. Because just because someone sticks a microphone in your face doesn't mean that you have to give them sound. Huh? Think about it. If you all tuned into this fight last night and you saw his post-fight interview, this young man had the gall to say that his people, and he pointed to his skin, his own body, his people don't support him. And so thereby, what was short as far as his attendance for his bout, the individuals who may come out to support the sport of boxing, who give that type of support and everything that they normally give to fighters with events, he's trying to say that the community don't support him, his kind, so to speak. My question to you two brothers, since we're here and we're talking about this now, it's here. It's the floor is open. But tell me how toxic he has been, and where in the hell has he shown support for his own as of late? Remember, we're just days before his bout. He's out there throwing two of the sport's top figures under the bus, speaking ill about him, speaking condescending, throwing him down just because somebody put a mic in front of his face, and did it with no regard, no repentance. But he had the gall to say after his bout that his people, the community, doesn't support him. Trick, I'm gonna throw that question at you. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, when I look at this kid, man, I just think he was raised wrong. You know, I think that's where it starts. It starts at home, man. And the thing is, I didn't hear him say so much about Earl Spence, but the way he attacked Deontay Wilder was just plain wrong. And it's bad enough that Wilder's getting attacked from all angles anyway. But for this kid to come on there on the Fight Hype video and say what he said about Wilder, to me was very, very disrespectful. And at the end of the day, I commented on someone's video, and I told him, hey, this guy better count his blessings. He got a fight coming up. And what'd he do? He ended up missing weight. So you're right. When they put a microphone in front of your face, you got to be mindful about the things that you say, because you don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching. And whether he feels that I don't know whether he feels he needs to do that to get attention, or whether he feels he needs to do that to, I guess, big himself up, to make himself look bigger than what he is. You know, I don't know what his agenda is toward that. But, you know, when I see people attacking people like that, you know, I normally don't say anything, because a lot of times people gonna fall on their face in the first place when you take an angle like that. But you know, the kid is talented. He can fight. And as we spoke earlier, like I said, he kind of reminds me of he got a little bit of Zab Judah in him, a little young Zab Judah in him, and he got a little bit of Adrian Broner in him. You know, in my opinion, that's the way I look at it. But as far as him saying that we don't support him, or I didn't see that either, but you point that out. You know, that's just ridiculous. But even though you said that, now that you said that, you know, it may be some of us may not be supporting him. You know, so you got to be careful what you say and be mindful about it. You know, so that's my take on him.
Okay, Kano, why don't you come on in with your thoughts? And like you said, you didn't go in, you know, last night when you did what you did, you know, your comments on the show. But please, you know, you have the floor. You can go in, and I know. And let me just say this in support of Kano Loco Sports. Kano Loco Sports is a man of integrity. You understand? He has his own channel. He does things from his perspective. He rocks with the LDBC, but he's still his own man. And we respect the position that he have. And I expect anyone that's out there in the chat to show respect for this brother, because we embrace him as a brother. And he comes on and he gives it like it is. And he speaks with truth. So let me just put that out there and understand. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, I was very disappointed, man, on the post-fight interview that Chris Colbert had when he said that. First of all, why did he have to point it to his skin? Why he couldn't just come out and say it with his chest out? You know, second of all, he's contradicting himself, because when you're not supporting your own and now all of a sudden you expect them to support you, it's very contradicting. You can't ride the fence. It's either one way or the other way. You can't have it both ways. Now you sitting here and you're dogging Wilder, which, you know, like Trick Nolte said, everybody and their mama's already done that, and you're adding to that. You're adding to the fuel, okay? But to mention Spence, out of all people that doesn't say anything, is a quiet, humble guy that just goes on about his business, that lets me know it's deeper than just, you know, it's deeper than just the Wilder situation, because Spence didn't have any kind of controversy around him for him to even go at Spence. So I lost a lot of respect for him, Stormy. And I said this on my live earlier. I'm going to go ahead and repeat it. I will still watch his fights because I'm a boxing fanatic. I won't respect them as an individual on a personal level, but I won't let that affect me watching boxing and breaking down the film on his possible future opponents and how I see the fight going out. I'm not going to let it cloud my judgment on who I think will win when he gets, you know, into these matchups here in the future. But I can't support him. I'll watch it, but I won't be like backing him, you know. And I know a lot of people may not know me, and I know I might look white. I'm actually Puerto Rican, born and raised in Puerto Rico. Just to give you a little backstory of why I could speak on some of this stuff. When I did come to the States, ever since I've been to the States, I've always grew up in an all-black neighborhood. I've been around that atmosphere my entire life outside of Puerto Rico. So I'm used to this environment already. And I see a lot of stuff that goes on in life. You know, I'm not black, so I can't completely relate, but I've been around a lot of it and experienced a lot of this around my brothers, because I call the blacks my brothers. They've always been around me and always have supported me, and I've supported them, which is how I ended up, you know, being a member of LDBC, because I consider y'all family. So when I speak on these things, I'm not talking out of my ass or making things up out the thin air. I just can't respect what he says. I just think it's a shame. That's just like the equivalent of a one Puerto Rican starting dogging everybody else in Puerto Rico. And I have seen that too, where they'll come to the States and they won't even speak Spanish to you because they think they're better than you now, and they're nothing but a Puerto Rican just like you. It's the same thing with Colbert, man. They're black just like you. You should be having their back. You should not be doing that. You're tearing each other up. And it happens in the minority community a lot more than a lot of people think. And we shouldn't be tearing each other down. We should be bringing each other up and having each other's back. And when you come out and make comments like that on a post fight, it just doesn't sit well with me. Period. That's my take on it, Stormy.
Well, also, as you said a moment ago, that why didn't he just come on off the cuff and speak from his chest, you know, when he was given that post-fight interview and say things properly and straightforwardly, like he did without filter when he was talking about Spence and Wilder, you know? And see, that's where you have to understand. People can play stupid, but then they show you their hand. And then the more that they talk, you realize that maybe stupidity is not a part of the process, but ignorance is where everything is rooted. You see, and here in this instance, we're talking about ignorance because he made ill comments about two of the sport's most prominent positive figures. You know, Earl Spence Jr. has totally represented himself and how he's gone about his career in the most positive of manners. He had a situation where he had his car accident and everything, but even with that, how he bounced back from that, the resiliency and the resolve that he showed and character as a man. He has put his life back on track. And when you talk about Deontay Wilder, who all he has done is come out professionally and prove his wares in the ring. And when he's not fighting, you don't even hear about the man. He's not in the police blotter. He's not in the tabloid blotter. He's not doing those things that are counterproductive. In fact, this man has done things that have given him more solidity toward being a man of the people, a man of the community. And to hear an ignorant young punk like come up there and say the things that he said, it's appalling. Because you talk about Earl Spence, you talk about Deontay Wilder, as the comment that I put on the screen is been there for a few minutes now, but KP from KC says, Spence and Wilder both have serious fathers in their lives, and they conduct themselves in a different
manner. You broke up a little bit. You froze up.
I was saying, excuse me, I said, doesn't it make a difference when daddy is home? It makes a serious difference. And where's this guy's daddy? Huh? Because he's out there loose at the mouth like diarrhea, huh? And I say diarrhea because we know where diarrhea comes out of, right? But the words and the way that he has spoken over the past few weeks, huh? You can't tell the difference from either end from him as far as I'm concerned.
Hot headed. And Stormy, that just goes back to me saying it starts at home. He was raised wrong, you know. And one more thing off of Conor Loco, you know, when you were saying how another Puerto Rican to say something about another Puerto Rican, I was looking in the chat where somebody said that they're just like Miguel Cotto saying something bad about Felix Trinidad when Trinidad, you know, he came up watching Trinidad. You see what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something about that, Trick Nolte. A person that does that wouldn't even be able to fly back to Puerto Rico.
Can't come back home.
No.
Yeah.
That they don't. That we don't play like that back home.
See,
they get a lot. They get away with a lot of stuff here in the States that they. It's just a different living over there, man. They would not be able to fly home and get away with that. It just wouldn't fly.
And see, we're not telling anyone or trying to encourage anyone to not be supportive of this man, but we are trying to say, don't be accepting. Just as I opened up the show talking about Monique putting a message out there for women to hear, okay? And she was vilified for doing the proper thing, okay? For those of you out there who are adults and have children, you know how you teach your young daughter when she's wearing a dress to sit and, you know, put her dress over her knee and put her hand in her lap and things of that. This is etiquette. This is ethic that you're teaching your children. That's all Monique was doing when she was suggesting to the women out there, please don't come out the house looking like you just got out of the bed. Huh? Don't come out the house with a head bonnet on and your fluffy house shoes and your pajama pants to walk to the corner store. Have some dignity for yourself. And these people attacked her. Like I said, they were entertainers because they're in our Instagram chat and everything. They went in on her. Like, who are you to come out here with your toxic positivity? That's what they said to her. That's why I snatched that phrase for this show tonight. Because this young man, and notice I ain't said his name once, but he has toxic positivity. Because on one hand, he's coming out there trying to say these damning things about two of the most positive guys. There may have been even more that he said, but I'm focusing in, I'm narrowing it down there because it shows how ignorant he is. You want to talk about Earl Spence. Earl Spence is accomplished, brother. He has a place where he can fight and people will fill up a stadium, a football stadium for him. You can't feel nothing from what we saw last night. That place wasn't even 0.25% filled. And Deontay Wilder, the pay-per-views that he's been doing, you could only dream of. Go sit your ass down somewhere.
He might be still living home with his mama for all we know.
But the thing I want to say, though, also, man, if you allow me, Stormy, is...
1 second there. I want to get to a couple of super chats. We had Mr. Gumbo out there. He says, Kinda Loco, you are purple. My truck is waiting on you. I guess that's something between you and he.
That's between me and him.
Talking about. And Brooklyn Born out there, too, in the super chat. He's saying that... He says that black needs to support black. If you don't, then kick rocks. Don't ask for it when you need it. Yeah, this young man needs to go sit down somewhere. And I saw Zab Judah out there giving him and showing him support in the venue.
Yes.
But Zab needs to take a page out of his own career and say, look here, man, I was once like you. And I had to get my act together.
One Costa right hand made that.
Absolutely.
Stand up on that. One Costa. Yep.
And it almost happened last night. And I was in conversation with Drew Titan about that earlier today. And we were discussing the situation. And I think that the only reason, Kano and Trick, that it didn't happen was because Tug only had a couple of weeks.
And he was coming for 126.
He didn't have a full camp, to prepare for him. So the fact that he went 12 rounds like he did speaks volumes of the professional that he is. And when you have a full camp to prepare for a guy, it makes a world of a difference. You see? And I felt like he kind of drug to the finish line because conditioning may not have been what it could have been because you saw some things early that looked like fire and heat, but it kind of tailed off after the middle rounds and everything. And that usually comes down to the conditioning. Maybe he wasn't quite in championship caliber shape, because this man was no Gary Russell Jr. And we saw Tug in there with Gary Russell Jr., and he acquitted himself very well, even though Gary was heads and shoulders better than he, but he still acquitted himself very well. And, you know, but go ahead, Connor, you were going to say, you had something you wanted to say.
I did, but just to add to what you're saying, also, he just came up from 126, so he was not a natural 130 pounder, you know. Just on top of not having the full training camp, but it does show that he's always a disciplined person that's always staying in the gym. But being in the gym is different than a training camp for a fight. They're two different things. You're working on two different things. Me and Stormy both know that. We've been in there. We know, you know, it's just a whole different beast. Okay. Now I was gonna go back to Cobra because I was gonna say that this is not a surprise to me because I've been hearing him talk like this for the last couple of years. What surprises me is that the people that are around him, like, you know, Zab Judah and a bunch of other people that I'm not going to name, but I do know him personally. It was surprises me that they have not pulled him to the side and say, yeah, young man, this ain't the way. I got to hold them accountable as well. Like, man, why are you not? You're just as guilty because you're in the camps with him. You're in his surroundings. And yet you're not giving this young man the advice and let him know what he's doing wrong. You know, his PR people are failing him as well. You have to have a team around you that's going to direct you the right way. Right now, you're ruining your name out here. You're a skilled fighter, but to me, from what I saw last night, he's a B fighter, not an A+ fighter. No, he's a B fighter. Okay. Yeah, he's got speed and he's got a chin, but his defense sucks. And his movement is not all that great to me. He gets in there with an elite fighter that has a full training camp and is actually a 130 pounder like him. I don't think he makes it to the finish line, Stormy.
You very well may be right. And if he keeps on running his mouth, and if Zab ain't able to help rein him in, or some other people get with the guy, hey, he ain't gonna make it to the finish line anyway, huh? Whether it be in the ring or out of the ring, because life has a way of teaching you things, huh? We have plenty of examples like that, plenty. And he may think what he's doing over there with those kids and that little that will not save you, son, because you're not leading by example. Huh?
Right.
You're not leading by example. And those very young ones that you're mentoring over and everything, they can see what you're doing. And those will be the ones busting you in the mouth and putting their foot in your behind because you don't set the proper precedent. See? That's the difference. Like I said, where his daddy at? The mere fact that the man walks around here with an eraser head of different colors every time you see him says something about there being a problem there. A man don't need to be dyeing his hair, all these technicolors and everything.
Just put on your
gloves.
gloves.
We saw Dennis Rodman doing it in the NBA, and we saw later all the problems that got revealed that that man had going on in his life, which made the example why he acted so out of character. You see? There are reasons behind these things. You gotta look the truth in the face and accept it what it is. And then you have a choice that you can make about becoming a better person and a better individual by persevering and overcoming than to sit up there and run and hide, throw rocks, and try to hide in the glass house.
Thanks.
Those people, man, I'm telling you right now, man, I don't know. Stormy's been in gyms. I've been in gyms that I've worked with fighters before, and a fighter like that would not stay in my gym. Because when you're working with a fighter in a gym, it's different than just the fans watching, okay? Like the gym that I was at, you have to represent yourself well outside the gym as well as inside the gym, as well as the press conferences, as well as in the fight. If you're not representing the gym properly. This is why I say that the people around him, which I don't want to put their names out there, I know some of them personally, Stormy, and I just don't understand why they have not sat this guy down. I don't get it.
Because there's not enough true mentorship out here today. Remember, you just said it. People like yourself and myself, we've been in the gyms, right? But we also know that there's a line, okay, that you're not supposed to cross. It's called the line of discipline. When you are in the gym and you're learning the sport of boxing, boxing is a martial art. One of the key principalities that you're supposed to learn from the very beginning is discipline. Discipline comes from whomever is setting that precedent in that domain. When you walk in there, if there's no respect, then you're going to have what you see in this individual. When there's respect, people stand up straighter and taller. People speak with a different lingo. They behave with a different lingo, and they carry themselves as such. That's what happens. And remember, if you can't do these things, you're out of there. So if you want to be a part of this, you have to hunker under those rules. So who's setting the rules now? This is why you hear me speak all the time about a lot of the trainers today aren't crap. They're not. Because anybody can throw a towel over their shoulder. Anybody can hold some mitts up or put the mitt bag over themselves and let you pound on that. That's not being a trainer. One of the major aspects of being a trainer is teaching. Now, from what vessel do you teach? Do you teach from a vessel of dirty water, toilet water, muddy water? Or do you give your pupils a clean vat to drink from so that it nourishes them and takes a part of who you are into them? And then they can carry that out. And when they go out, they representing you. You see what I'm saying? How much of that do you see today? Very little. Very little. So this guy, he's got a lot of work to do, man. And he just better be lucky, because there are people in his weight class that are tearing him a new one right now. Oshaki Foster is already calling for his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see it.
Yep.
And we're going to start pushing for that.
We'll be reaching out to him.
Absolutely.
Met him here in Houston. Good kid, man. Good kid.
Yeah. See, you can always tell the difference from the ones who've been brought the right way. You can always tell, because you know why? It's their actions, what they do and what they don't do, that define them. There's an old saying, empty cans rattle the loudest. That's what this kid is, an empty can. When you're carrying your groceries in and the bag bust, you just came in with a ton of canned goods and your bag busted on. When the cans hit the ground, they go flap and they roll, right? But when you're taking out the garbage and the garbage bag bursts and those empty cans that was in the garbage bag hit the ground, what they do? Ting-a-ling-ling-ling-ling. They making all that noise, and you looking around and shit and everything, trying to, damn, everybody gonna think what I'm dropping all these damn cans, right? Am I telling you the truth?
Facts.
Yeah. Big facts.
And we've got more than a few empty cans in the sport of boxing right now. More than a few. A week before, we saw a great fight between the cruiserweights. Effie Apache
Froze up.
Effie Apache and Brandon Glanton. Good fight.
Yes.
But Apache is one of these guys too. Huh? He's one of these guys too that you can talk about. And from what I understand, a lot of them out there are already talking about him because of those statements he made, you know, at the press conferences and everything, talking about Glanton and everything, and how what he was saying was representative of something even more serious. I think the quote was something like, he came here by plane, not by boat, as if to indicate that Glanton or anyone like Glanton or from here or whatever may not have necessarily chose their path. Well, you keep talking like that, buddy, you're going to choose your path, and it ain't going to be the one you think it's going to be. Because the world has a way of showing you things. Life has a way of bringing things home. Do you guys have anything on that about his remarks? And if you didn't hear them, they are out there and you can catch up. But pretty much I gave you a small gist of what he said. Trick, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I didn't hear him say anything like that, but you can't be saying stuff like that, man. Like you say, man, what's wrong with these people, man? Making comments like that, you know. Wow, man, I didn't know he said something like that. Unbelievable.
Listen, that's why I called the show.
Wow, I didn't know that.
What I did, and then I said, who's raising these guys?
Yeah, like I said, it starts at home, man. You know, I'm
exactly.
gonna go back to something you said earlier about Monique talking about the women. My daughter is swimming right now, and she bought like this little. I told her, when you go swimming, put your, you know, my daughter's kind of thick, you know, she put a little top on or whatever, and she came out with this little old bitty shirt. She said, Dad, is this okay? I said, it's okay if you want your right arm. She went and got another shirt.
There you go.
Yeah.
And she understands that coming from you, when you respond the way you did, it's with seriousness, not to be played with, not to be joked with.
Yes, sir.
And it put her right back in line, and you did nothing cruel or nothing like that. That's the way y'all communicate, but you drove your point home.
Yes, sir. Well, back to that guy. No, I didn't know that he, like I said, back to that, I didn't know he made a comment like that, but I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna check it out, definitely.
Yeah. How about you, Kano? Did you hear about that? And if you did, what are your thoughts on it?
No, I have no clue what he said, to be honest with you, man.
Wow, unbelievable, man. That's crazy.
Some things slipped by, man. I can't sit here and lie. I didn't hear it, so I don't know. I have no clue what he said, man.
Check it out. It's amazing, man.
Exactly did he say?
But when I think of these things, and I think of these young guys of today and how they're representing or lack in representing, this is what I think of. Take a look at this image right here.
Man, yeah.
Now, the tree represents something in this equation here. The tree represents the community and the world. The branch represents the path. Okay? Now, you see them.
You froze up, man. Oh, there you go.
Okay, you see the man perched on a path, right? The branch represents a path, and you see there are many branches in this photo, but the tree represents the world and life itself, existence. The branches represents paths. Look at this idiot. Look at this idiot. I ask and bequeath everyone that's out there that's looking at their phones or tablets or TV, whatever you're looking at as you're watching this show right now. But look at this idiot here. He's a know-it-all because he's in a position right here to determine his own fate. Huh? But as I referred to him as being an idiot, because sometimes you have to see things through. You can't go cutting or taking shortcuts, or you're going to end up like his fate will find him very shortly. Huh? Think about it. This is a very old image here. It's very old. And when it first came out, I was a small kid. But it represents something here. We can look at it and laugh and things like that. But I brought it out because this typifies what we're talking about today, guys. It does. It's a real representation of what we're talking about today. Just something to think about, man. Something to think about. Salute to my man Curtis Anderson out there in the super chat. He says, I don't like channels that ridicules black fighters and fan bases every stream. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And the only reason that channels do that is because they're trying to big themselves up. Think about it like this. If they're trying to big themselves up, that must mean that they're very small in stature. Huh? And those that they're trying to put down, they're trying to bring them down from the loftiness that they have achieved or been set forth as. That's all. But remember, it's all about perspective, huh? When you're looking at life and you're looking at your goals and what your aspirations are, how can you be so tied into looking backwards, huh? Looking down, huh? Even if you're a man of the Bible and the word of God, it says keep your head to the sky, huh? Keep your eyes on the horizon, huh? Not peeping around the corner or looking up under something like that or whatever. You get hit in the head. You get hit in the head. And life got away, like I said, always bringing things back in proper perspective. And people don't realize these things because they fill themselves with foolishness. I spoke about just a moment ago that representation of that man sitting on that branch. That's these guys that we were talking about on the show this evening. That's them sawing away.
Yeah.
Huh?
I just don't listen to it, man. I mean, I understand. I agree with Kurt Anderson. I don't listen to it. I just don't pay it no mind. I think it's petty. And at the end of the day, it's not great content. It's not beneficial content. I like to watch content that's gonna benefit, that's actually good. If it's boxing, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear some boxing breakdowns. I want to hear about upcoming fighters. I want to hear about what you think about certain champions and stuff, you know, without, you know, doing the disrespectful things about them, you know? That's all.
And the sad part about it is a lot of us are going to them channels. They're going to those channels to listen to that negative stuff that's being spoken about our fighters.
Listen, man, I'm going to say something about that in just a second, but let me get to this super chat. We got Zenith 360 out there. He says Apache considers Black Americans as beneath him since he was born in Nigeria. When he got whooped, people went to his page and said maybe he'd be stronger if he took the boat. He made his Instagram private. Well, it's good because I'm gonna my comments on him, his quotes and everything. I'll adopt a high road like the brother and champ Deontay Wilder said, I don't have to say nothing because the people tore his ass up.
Mhm.
I loved when Champ said that. You know why? Because, again, he understands. He's a people person. He's a man of the people, a champion of the people. He don't have to say anything because people will act out in a manner in which it will be representing the strength that he rides on.
Mhm.
And Apache felt that. Yeah, keep your Instagram private, huh? How about keeping it private, and then when you come out in public, don't say nothing. Just keep your damn mouth closed too, huh? That way you don't have to worry about the shoes coming up behind you, hitting you in the ass, huh? That's right. That's right, man. Huh. We got another super chat out there from the brother Curtis Anderson. He says that they tried to recruit Conno Loco Sports.
How'd that work out?
Them negative channels. But yeah, what I was gonna say about that, man, is this. You ever go to a buffet? You know, Stormy got a million analogies. I could do a book on analogies. But you ever go to a buffet and they got your favorite stuff out there, right? You like what you like. But who the hell goes to a buffet and fill they plate up with shit that they don't eat? And excuse me, I'm being a little potty mouth tonight because I'm feeling it. You understand?
Yeah.
But it's like, who goes to a buffet and fill they plate with stuff they don't eat? So why are you digging in trash cans of content creators that's garbage? I mean, hey, we got 8 people that I can see right now that came over here to thumb this down. And guess what? 5 of the thumbs down was before I even got to talking. How ignorant is that? You see what I'm saying? This is, listen, like Drew Titan says, and they call Drew the Druth, right? Listen, I don't have to say anything. The people gonna tear their asses up. You're the fool. You coming over here just to thumb something down? I don't go over there. I don't. You listen, you hang around a whorehouse, what they gonna call you? A John, huh? Whether you're doing something or not. You hanging around a whorehouse, they're gonna call you a John, right? Because that's what you look like. You dress inappropriately and everything, huh? And you go out there, skirt way up your behind and everything, they're gonna call you what? A lady of the night, huh? Because that's what you representing. You don't have to be, you could be a schoolgirl, you could have a high IQ and ready to go to college and everything. But when them guys are seeing you and they whistling at you, hey baby, how much? And all of this, how you gonna get mad?
No. Preach.
You have to change this up here, how it processes information. I ain't worried about those other channels out there and what they say and what they do, huh? Monkey business. I ain't got no time for that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's the way it is. I don't know, man. Like, you could make a video, like I could go live, man, and speak about a subject, man. And I can see on social media, like on Twitter or something like that, that they actually think I'm talking about their content when I didn't even watch it. But I don't even watch your channel, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't even watch it. I have no idea what you said.
But you can tell when somebody is watching yours, though, can't you?
Yes, I'm like, okay, all right, I see what it is, man.
No, check it out, Loco. This is how you tell. Trick and Loco. This is how you tell. You can tell they watching yours because they come over there thumbing it down before you even get to talking.
Right. Your
family ain't coming to your house talking about, Ooh, it's stinking here. Ooh, this is bad. I can't eat here. And they ain't coming in like that. Family coming in and say, man, did you make that potato salad? Did you, hey, you got, where the drinks at? That's what family do. Or I brought something. Huh? I brought something for you. Everybody go out there in the car. We got something in the back of the trunk. That's what family do. Family don't come over peeping around and thumbs down. Huh? That's dumb as hell. It's ignorant.
Man, I'm in my 50s, man. You think that if I'm the only one who just went live and made a video about that certain topic, and then I see somebody comment on Twitter or Instagram about it, you're only talking about me, so I didn't even watch what you said. I don't give a damn what you said. I could care less. Because I'm the type of person that if I don't like a channel and I don't like their content, I'm not going there at all. I'm not going to go over there at all. For what? Waste my time?
Listen, I spend too much time trying to cultivate and develop what I'm trying to do. You understand? That don't even, but
funny.
It's humorous to me.
Yeah.
When you're able to point it out and be like, man, can you believe that? Huh? It's like a guy driving down the street and a woman's walking, she's dressed provocative, and he's just looking and he run his car into a parked car or a pole or something because he can't even keep focused on the road. Huh? That's happened a lot. And the thing about it is when people do stuff like that and they be mad, oh man, made me crash my car. You crashed your car, fool.
And you know what's bad? You know what's bad, Stormy? You can tell when they have hate and racism in their heart, because when you speak on a subject and you're telling the absolute truth, the absolute truth with proof, with paperwork, video, evidence, and they still wanna hate it. Where does that come from, Stormy? Come on. Do I have to spell it out?
Listen, that's why, this subject needed to be touched upon, because as we have individuals like these men that we spoke of this evening, this is the kind of thing that puts you in a position where you realize, like, you can either take the high road or you can take the high road, or you can decide to lay down in the mud with the pig. Huh? Do you know, speaking of laying down with the pig, there are people in our society have sex with animals. Huh?
Yeah.
They do.
I've seen the videos.
Yeah.
Bestiality.
But let me ask you this. When you see it, right? If you've seen it, who is it usually?
Hey, I'm gonna point in my skin. It ain't us.
Yeah. See? And there's a point to be made about that. What's going on up here, bruh? Not much, right? But think about it like this. If it ain't much going on up here for them, how much can be going on for them who want to buck dance for them? Yeah. Like what we saw last night. And this guy who been talking all week in the past couple of years, he been saying some unfavorable stuff, huh? But let me also ask you this. Who putting the damn mic in front of his mouth?
That was gonna be my question that I was gonna ask to both of y'all. Who's putting the mic in front of his face? That's the first thing. And you think they're doing it to get a rise out of that person, or you think they're doing it to get some views for their video? Or is it both?
Both.
It's both.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's both. And I listen. You guys ever seen the TV commercial with the raccoons? and they're digging through garbage and stuff, and the raccoon's talking to the other one. He's like, "Oh man, this is horrible. Taste it." It's like, they're going through the garbage cans.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
think about it. That's the content that some people are flocking to. Now, take me for example. I think that I have a pretty decent channel. I'm a small fry right now. Hope to get bigger, but not because I want enrichment, but because I feel that the more that I'm doing what I'm doing, the more capable I can be better at it and present you with even greater content. But I don't do clickbait, man. I don't do sellout material. I don't do trying to bring people that I don't want to have with me for the long haul. I don't do fair weather. That's why I oust people from the channel. When they come over with their crap, they gone, hit the road. Because family will be there. You're going to have ups and downs with family and everything, but at the end of the day, that's all you got. Huh? And you can tell when family is family. You can tell. Now, even family have to be reined in sometimes because they can make foul moves or bad moves or whatever. But when you have love for them and when you have respect for them, you tell them, hey, that's kind of jacked up what you did. Don't do that no more. Huh? Don't sit around and go gossiping. Yeah, so-and-so said this. So-and-so said that. This and that. No. Go direct and say, look, you two fools, sit down. Let me tell you something. Knock it off. Huh?
Yeah.
Those Charlo brothers, that's a great segue because those two men have issues themselves. They are tremendous fighters in the sport. Mm-hmm. I love to see them do what they do in that ring. But keep the microphones away from their mouths because they don't know no better. They think they do. And just because you come into money doesn't give you class. You can't buy class. It's either there from the seed that brought forth you and cultivated you along your way, or it's not. Yeah. You're just going to be an ass with money. But it won't give you class. You see?
Stormy.
Yes, sir.
It's funny you mentioned that about the Charlo brothers. I went to the fight a few weeks back, 3 weeks back or whatever. And there was a brother with he owns a clothing line. And I put this on my Instagram, but I didn't speak with you about it. But the guy walked up to him, Jermel, and people, starting to flock to Jermel because they hadn't seen him, and people seen him, so they started to come up to him. And his brother said, "Hey, Jermel, I have a clothing line I'd like for you to look at. Maybe we can talk about something in the future." And I'm gonna tell you what Jermel told that dude. And I had my phone up like this, but I stopped for whatever reason just to get a picture of him. And I should have kept my phone running. He told that dude, "Man, why would I care about your clothing line? I got my own lines on, I got my own clothing line lines on. I don't need your clothing line business or whatever." And just walked off. And this is in front of children. This is in front of media. I mean, that's how he did the dude. I'm serious. And it was a lady. I don't know her name or anything like that. Some white lady, and she said, "Y'all just go ahead and walk away from him." It's about 50, 60 people around him, and we just pretty much just kind of got away from him. And you're right, man. Not only just as far as putting a microphone in his face, the dude got such a bad attitude. Jamal is not that bad, but Jermel is horrible, man. And once again, you got a fight coming up. You better count your blessings, man. So I saw a guy was in the chat room. Well, he made a comment under my section saying, "Well, hey, you don't know what the guy was going through, whatever. It don't matter what you're going through if you got a fight coming up. You don't treat people like that. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't. Hold on, let me stop you right there, Trick, and not disrespectfully, but I want to interject something. Mel doesn't know what the man got going on. You understand?
And the guy works with Magic Johnson. Let me cut you. He worked with Magic Johnson. He worked with Jim Jones. He's worked with a lot of celebrities in the past. His name is Isaac and More on Instagram. Good brother, man. I talked to him and everything. And I went up and told him, I said, look, man, that's wrong for how you did you, man. I just want to apologize to you, man, because I know that's wrong. A few other people came up to him and said the same thing, man. So go ahead, Stormy.
No, it's just that you don't know what he has going on. And the fact that talking to Mel at that moment, had Mel responded even more positively, it could have turned something out beneficial for Mel in the long run. You understand? Yep. It doesn't mean like, hey, can you make a deal with me and we get rich quick plan? No, that didn't mean that. Remember, Evander Holyfield always tells the story. When he entered the gym at 8 years old, he said the trainer told him, if you work hard, you could one day be heavyweight champion of the world. And because of the way Evander was raised, and he had plenty of brothers and sisters, and he had a very strict mom, but his mom handled them all with a lot of old Southern motherly love, huh? She put the fear of herself in her children. So Evander was the type of guy who he hung on his mom's words, which meant that when somebody tell you something directly and straight up, give them the benefit of belief, because if they show you dishonesty or untrustworthiness, then you know that. So when this man told Evander at the age of 8 that he could be heavyweight champion of the world, he was like, wow. And he got motivated behind that. Now, he grew to a certain age and size that didn't make him a heavyweight, but he still became a champion. He became a champion in the amateurs. He became a champion when he went to the Olympics. He became a champion when he turned pro. And finally, being just pounds away, he decided he was going to go for that heavyweight championship. And he was able to achieve it. But he talks about it all the time, that going back to when he was 8 years old, his coach told him, you keep hard at this, you stick with it, you could be heavyweight champion of the world. He became heavyweight champion of the world.
Indeed,
four times heavyweight champion of the world. And defeated some of the baddest men around in his era at the heavyweight division. I'm saying that and repeating that story because words are powerful. They can incite, they can inspire, they can also condemn. So Mel's actions,
horrible.
Who raised him? Just like the title of this show. Who raising these individuals? He's a world champion, but he's a world chump for treating people like that. You have no idea.
And so let me cut you off for a second. He did that right in front of Reggie Johnson, well-respected fighter in Houston, known in Houston, former world champion. He did it right in front of Reggie Johnson, man. You should have seen Reggie's face.
Listen, I heard stories that Evander Holyfield and Reggie Johnson and guys like that used to take them guys to football practice and stuff like that when they were teens. What if Evander and those guys that helped them along their way told them, get away from me, kid. I ain't got no damn time for you. Huh?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Listen, man, mentorship means a tremendous amount of significance in the community. It really does. So when people like myself and kind of Local Sports, when we talk about the things that we talk about regarding the sport of boxing, because we're close to that sport, we're not just blowing smoke. I can sit down and have a seminar talking about boxing and life and don't hold up one pad, don't hold up no bags for guys to punch, because what I give them initially is all for up here and inside the chest cavity, the heart, to give you something of substance, because anybody can ball their fists up and throw it at somebody, but not everybody knows why you shouldn't. Huh? Think about that. When I can defeat you with my mind, understand, without throwing a blow, who's the powerful one? Think about it. See, and that's what these fools don't learn. Now, I know Ronnie Shields has trained both of the brothers for a while, and now he's still working with the bigger brother. But even Ronnie has compromised some of his principles working with this guy.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because that kind of tells me that, you know, Ronnie is forced to make certain decisions, but you shouldn't be. You shouldn't ever be put in that position. You should always be put in a position, being at mentor that you've been for him. You should be put in a position of giving choices, and not choices of can you do or what you should or should not do. It should be the choices of this. Coach, advise me. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? You see? Do you see the difference? And remember, money is just a means of acquiring goods and things like that. It's like it comes and it goes. It was never meant to be just held and possessed. You can have it all today and it be all gone tomorrow.
Exactly.
But your integrity, what you have within you, what they've cultivated and developed within you, that remains a lifetime. No one can even pull that out of you. It's there. It's within you. And if you don't have it, it's because you weren't introduced to it properly and you weren't given those keys. So you'll never know where you're driving to.
No doubt.
Yeah, facts.
All right.
So when we talk about, you know, who raised these individuals, I put those things in the title. See, there is always a method to my madness. And it's not madness. It's mad science, really, because when you can put those things together like that, you can go through so many depths of explanation. That's why I opened up talking about the Monique thing, you see, because Monique was doing it for the community. She was trying to teach.
Yeah.
And they treated her like she was the wicked witch from the West. Are you kidding me? Someone had the gall, I'll go back to it, to come and say, who do you think you are with your toxic positivity? If her telling young women to clean themselves up is toxic positivity, who are the people who should have been telling the women what Monique said but never did? What are they then? It's like sending children to school and expecting the teacher at the school to do everything, teach them everything, or what stuff that you should have been preparing your children at home for when they go to school. You expect the teacher to be Mr. or Mrs. Everything. and be accepting of your kid telling them to F off and everything else and using all other kind of foul terms and stuff coming into that environment where they're supposed to be educating. You got people wanting to fight teachers in the school.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense. And guess what? I talk about this all the time. You ever been in grade school or high school yourself? And it was always that student who couldn't get it together. Huh? Don't have no notebook, don't have no paper, don't have no pencils or pens or whatever. And they sitting right next to you. Hey, man. Hey, can I borrow some paper? Hey, can you share your book? Hey, what page we on? And like, dude, get away from me, man. And the teacher get mad at you. So, I mean, I see you back there. I'm going to separate you and make you come sit up here by me. I ain't even did nothing, but it's this dude, right? Do you realize in life that person, just like you, becomes an adult? Yeah. And even though you ain't seen them since school, since way back, guess where you see them now? On the news. So-and-so was captured by several police officers when he was trying to break into so-and-so, or he was robbing so-and-so or doing such and such. Or you passed them in traffic when you was at the stoplight and the light changed green and he was in the car in front of you and he was texting on his phone with both hands like this, you know, you texting. And you got to honk your horn at him and say, hey, man, the light is green, go. That's him, huh? Or when you're in the store and you're going for the checkout and the person say, okay, sir, to them, your bill is $54.95. $54.95? I only got this, I only got that. What are you talking? Why? Show me where it costs that. And everybody in the line's like, oh, man, come on, man. That's that person you went to school with. They weren't studying. They weren't doing their lesson. They weren't paying attention. And now they out here in the world messing everything else up for everybody else. You think I'm lying? That's what it is, man. And then some of them, parents, before they became adults and they took them to the gym and stuff and brought them in there to see people like me and kind of Loco. Yeah, my son, I want him to box. Now you telling him, okay, you know, go over there, get dressed, put your shoes on, everything. We're going to wrap your hands and everything. And I'm going to show you how to do some of the exercises that we do when we start warming up. And then, well, exercise. I want to get in the ring and spar somebody. I want to spar that dude right over there. Son, this is my gym. I run the gym. You got to listen to my rules here, son. You don't just come in here getting in the ring. We got to teach you some things around here first. This is called discipline. Oh, man, I don't like this place, man. I don't like this gym. Well, there's the door. You don't have to be here. Yeah. They're everywhere. They're the same individuals, bro. You think I'm lying? Like I said, every time you see something jacked up, remember what I just said. Let it be a lesson to you all. Those of you out there in the chat, those of you on the panel here, you can take it to the bank. I'm telling you, these are the same individuals. The same. When they gonna learn? Some of them didn't make it this far. They got graves, with tombstones on them. Some of them don't have tombstones because the family or whatever couldn't afford and whatever. Yeah, but they 6 feet under somewhere. Yeah. And before this weekend is over, you know, today is the 4th of July. Some of them gonna get their hands blown off by M80s. Some of them gonna hurt somebody. Some of them gonna shoot somebody, firing guns up in the air where they tell you, please don't do that.
Yep.
The bullets come down, right? But they do all of this. Some of them at the liquor store right now, at the liquor store, loading up so they can put some oil in their body and act a fool. I'm telling you, these things are as real as they can be, bro. But I say all of that because we can come right back to where we started in talking about this guy right here. This guy right here and everything he was saying about his people don't support him. Who the hell have you supported, brother? Who the hell have you supported? And where can you prove that that support is legitimate? Huh?
Yeah.
I tell you, one of the problems that we have is that nobody wants to tell the truth and nobody wants to hear the truth. So if I got tape over my mouth, that means I ain't speaking it. And you got earplugs in your ears, that means you ain't hearing it. Then we can't do nothing together, can we?
Nope.
You see how foolish that is? Ignorance. Utter ignorance, bro. But that's, again, what we're talking about here. I try to make sure that when I deliver the message, I give it to you straight, man. Because even those things that I haven't been able to accomplish myself, I can still be a vessel of motivation for someone who can go further than I went. I ain't going to be a crab and grab you by your ankle or your pant leg and not allow you to go. I'm going to say, hey, man, just keep on up that road right there. But watch the snakes on the side of the road. Huh? There's not enough of that from the community. Not enough of that teaching. And this guy definitely missing out on it. A few weeks ago, we had the fortune of watching Shakur Stevenson give what I thought was a pretty dominant performance against the guy he faced, Nakatima, or what is his name?
Nakatili.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name. But we had a chance to watch this young kid. He boxed his butt off. The guy was very awkward. The guy had a pop on his punch because he had come in with like 9 straight knockouts or something like that. And Shakur dropped the guy twice en route to not losing a round. Yet and still, we heard commentary critics like Tim Bradley sit up and say things like, oh, I was so bored, I almost went to sleep, and things of that nature. Well, how many people went to sleep watching Tim Bradley fights? Huh?
Exactly.
How many people shuddered and shunned when they watched Tim Bradley get hit with a shot and roll on the floor like a circus clown? Huh? How many people cringe every weekend when he on a panel talking about boxing and saying stupid stuff that is not representing of a man, but someone who has really checked his nuts at the door and is trying to be self-serving to an establishment that don't give a damn about him. Where's integrity? Huh? But you had the nerve to be condemning against this young, talented guy to the point that you pushed him to apologize for being successful, for winning.
I would have never apologized.
Right.
Well, listen, you have to understand something. These guys, Ward included, because he tried to come back later on a separate deal and say he didn't have that same mindset or whatever. But you didn't speak about it on the air, Andre Ward. You didn't speak about it on the air. So that's co-signing. But they know the kid behind the scenes. They know him. Mm-hmm. So why would you do that? See, it's something deeper, man. Shakur Stevenson has worked the corner professionally for a fighter. I don't see Tim Bradley working no corners. But I do recall Tim Bradley standing up there early in his microphone career, being pet on the head like a dog by Teddy Atlas. Oh, good job, son. Good job. Pet him on the head like he's a damn animal. And I saw Teddy Atlas speaking about Vasily Lomachenko being pound for pound the best fighter in the world and all of that, with only, I think at the time, was 12 fights. 12 fights. And he's saying to Andre Ward and Terrence Bud Crawford, you guys are good, but Vasily Lomachenko is at a different stratosphere. He on a different level than you guys. What? Where was Andre Ward standing up for himself then? He said, hey, now, Teddy, no. This kid only had 12 fights. What are you talking about? Why don't you just say that? You ain't got to call him no names on the air or nothing like that. You think that Muhammad Ali would sit up and let someone say something like that, so disrespectful to him? One of his famous lines came off of something similar that Howard Cosell tried to say to him. He said, is it too late for the 32-year-old Ali against this young man, George Foreman, so strong, so cruel? I saw Ali, and he's not the man that he was 2 years ago. Ali came back at Howard Cosell and said, you think that George can whoop me? Me? The greatest? He says, I talked to your wife and she told me you ain't the man you was 1 year ago. You understand? It's like he just broke it down to him like that in his face in front of the cameras. In other words, who you think you putting down? And then he put his fist in his face. I'll show you and the world how great I am. Huh? Listen, this is why I say these guys of today, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what the hell. They don't look in the proper place for the example to be set. They don't. It's all around us, bro. It's all around us. How many people don't understand that even if you don't have a particular role model for yourself in your own household, there is so much to attach yourself to if you open up a book and read it, huh? If you open up your mind to information, to understand that though you may be here, there is a world outside of your doors, huh? And you can go wherever you want when you open your mind up to it. You don't have to wait till you get sent to prison to realize that. Huh? There are so many things that we can learn from buffoonery, which is what we've been seeing as of late. So much we can learn. And one of the greatest principles that we can learn from this is not to encourage it, not to feed it, not to support it, but to do away with such childish things. Because as men, we have to stand strong. We have to stand united. We have to stand with an objective. And that's to get perseverance with one another to get to where we need to go. Don't be dismayed. Don't be sidetracked. Don't be distracted. Especially when you have babies.
Stormy, I got some talk on. Yeah, I mentioned what you was talking about, Shakur Stevenson. And when I watched that fight, it reminded me of the Roy Jones and Eric Harding fight. How Roy Jones was supposed to go in there and knock Eric Harding out, but he couldn't. And he had to find another way to win. I couldn't hit him with a clean shot at times. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to punch him in his arm. I'm going to keep hitting him in his arm. And that's what happened. And my thing is, Roy Jones apologized. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. You don't have to apologize to anybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not going to knock everybody out. You know, right. You're not going to, you know, and it just goes back to saying, you know, which Shakur Stevens, he shouldn't apologize. You don't have to apologize to nobody, man. You did what you had to do to win that fight, and actually speak with his grandfather on Instagram. I mean, them talk a lot, man. And the next time they come here to Houston, when he starts training or whatever, I'm gonna go up to the gym, man, and hopefully I can meet him and stuff. But yeah, he don't have to apologize to nobody, man. And I mean, just the backlash he was getting, man, from, you know, Timothy Bradley. You know, it was even, you know, I've seen some people with in the chat even had a few things to say about it. You know, just like, hey, man, you're not gonna knock everybody out, man. Sometimes you're gonna have a night where it could be your night, but it may not go away as you plan. But you'll find a way to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And he did it. You know, he won every round, bro, and dropped the guy a couple of times. It would be different if Nakathila had competed with him and all the rounds were close and he barely edged it out and stuff like that, right? That would be different. But that's not what happened.
Right.
Go ahead, Loco. You were gonna say something.
Yeah, man, I gotta be running, man. I'm running a little late now, man. I stayed a little longer than I could have, man. But I appreciate you allowing me on your platform, man. It was a good cook session, man. As always, it's always a pleasure with you, Stormy. And of course, Trick Nolte. You know, we talk behind the scenes a lot, man. You know, so you know, it's always a pleasure always to be on the platform with you, Trick. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's been great.
All right, man. You take care, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. And
thanks for rocking
man. With us, bro.
Salute to the mighty LDBC.
Yes, sir. Salute to you as well. Yeah, this was a great show, man, to have the kind of conversation that we had about everything that was included, because not just ripping and tearing into a fighter, but also giving lessons about why what he's doing and has done is not a good thing, and also how you can, you know, turn that around. And even like when Loco had mentioned about other channels, you know, coming, it's like when a bird is flying and soaring through the air, it ain't worried about what's on the ground, unless it's prey that it's seeking, you know. And that's how we have to be when we do our content. That's how we have to be when we approach, you know, our subjects and everything. We can't be worried about the other people that don't roll with you. You know what I mean? It's like I don't worry about who's not rolling with me, and they shouldn't be worried about me, worried about them. You know? And at the end of the day, the world is vast. Huh? It's like, what do you listen? We don't even have to breathe the same air. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But this thing about the media and how they cover the fighters, the one thing, Trick, that I really don't like, and it's one of the reasons why I am so pulling for the champ, Deontay Wilder, to come back and become champion again. First of all, he was so well representing when he held the title. The man, you know, I talk about this a lot now too, because I always try to bring Ali into perspective for people who weren't around for Ali. Ali was the type of man, and he said this himself. He's like, I can eat dinner at anybody's house. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I can walk down this street, and before I get halfway down the block, I'll be surrounded by folks, you know? And that was very true. This man here is very close to that.
Mm-hmm.
He's that type of individual. He can walk down the street. He can speak to people, be friendly and warm with them, and it's genuine.
Yeah.
And that's a champion. Whether he has his title or not, that's a champion. Ali, even when he lost, he never stopped being a champion. He never stopped being the people's champion. And that's what I love about Deontay Wilder. And he doesn't forget where he's come from. He doesn't forget who his people are. He doesn't forget what it means when he's successful, because so many, it's an inspiration thing. It's like Joe Louis, it's Ali beating people. And that's needed, especially in a time when things are so bad for people publicly, socially, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
This is not about hating somebody else. This is about loving somebody for what they have, the value that they bring. And that's what he brings. So when somebody like this kid starts talking about him like he did, it's like, really? Son, what the hell have you done with your life? You know? And it's a shame of how the media has treated this man. They've lied on him. They've made up stories on him. They continue to put words associated and attributed him that he never spoke, that he never said. So when he strikes a blow of success, he strikes a blow of success for all of us who have been downtrodden, undenied, and underprivileged and everything else. That's what he represents.
Excuse me.
And for this brother, Earl Spence Jr., same thing. What he represents, what he brings to the table is a professionalism, a championship spirit, a championship desire. Earl has never wanted anything but to be the champ and fight the best. You had people setting up roadblocks and avoiding and doing different things just so this man couldn't have the opportunity to show his wherewithal. And now you got people like Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman could have fought the man 4 years ago.
Yep.
And now you think somebody's gonna think about you and give you a chance? Are you serious? You kidding me, right? It's like ridiculous. And as people have been saying, Keith Thurman, you say you don't know who Jaron Ennis is? Go fight him now. You beat him, Earl give you a shot. I'm sure he would. Because you would have proven yourself something of value. But you're not going to do that because you don't really have it in you. You don't really have the ability to take on tough challenges because you've gotten soft. You'd be better off retiring. Now, if that young man who's got such a motor mouth with diarrhea coming from it would have been talking about someone like Thurman, I could get on board with that.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, that's who you should be going in on. That's who you should be talking about. But no, that's not who he wants to do. He wants to shoot at the public figures who really mean something out there. And also, let's not forget this trick. It's not like they can face him because they bigger than him, you know?
Right.
They so much bigger than him. He ain't got to worry about that kind of smoke, right? So, you know, it's like that little chihuahua that be yapping at you. And you could just push him away with your foot, you know, get away from me.
Yeah.
With chihuahua, you know. But that's what they do.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. Very. And I'm glad we're having this discussion, man, because you're not gonna see this on a lot of, you know, I don't I'm not on a lot of people's channels, but you know, you're not gonna see this on a lot of channels, man. People are not gonna have this discussion, you know, and it definitely needs to be discussed. You know, I know a lot of people aren't running this kid through the ringer, and he should be ran through the ringer. But I say you're not gonna see this on a lot of channels, and I'm glad that I got a chance to talk with you about this. You know, you, me, and Drew had spoke a little earlier on this. You know, and you know, like I say, it starts at home, and something is wrong. It's almost like you thinking, man, is somebody paying these people to say the kind of stuff that they saying? You know, or these people that they getting the interview from, or they paying them, or what? You know, I don't know. I hope that's not the case, but you know, with the fight coming up close with Wilder and Tyson Fury, you know, more and more hate is going to be spewed towards Wilder, you know, and it's sad that it's coming from actually is somebody in his own stable, you know, on the same promotional firm that it's actually it's coming from that kid Colbert, you know. So I don't wish anything bad on him, you know. He's need to be a little bit mindful about what he's saying, and hopefully somebody can, you know, take him under the wing and say, brother, this ain't the right way to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You're making some some great points there. You know, it was advised, like, you know, have the opportunity to go in, you know, and do some things, but I also show some restraint, you know, and a discipline within how I spoke about certain things, because at the end of the day, it's not about tearing somebody down, but it's about showing them where the ground is. You know, none of us walk above it. You know what I mean? We walk on it, feet on the ground. So the one who can float or levitate above ground, I want to see it. You understand? So just like I have shortcomings, the other person has shortcomings, but in a teachable time, you can tell somebody what they need to hear. And we stated that earlier in the show, that this young man needs somebody to rein him in. And since Zab has that type of experience, that would be great if he chose to do that. But remember this, Zab was a lot like him.
Exactly.
And Zab may still have a lot of those qualities within himself. You know what I mean? Because again, one of the hardest things to do is look in the mirror.
Yeah. You know, when I remember back in the day, when Zab was at 140, Vince Phillips was at 140. I can remember Zab Judah disrespecting Vince Phillips. You know, that was a great champion back in the day, you know, when he had his run. You know, Zab was being disrespectful to me. Oh man, you can't make the weight, get out of it. You know, just talking like that, you know, just young and brash. And like I said, I see a little bit of a young Zab in that Colbert kid. You know, like I said, he comes off as a nice guy when he's talking about doing the charity work and stuff like that. But but that's kind of getting overshadowed by your ignorance and your stupidity, the way, you know, you carrying yourself, man. So that's the problem that I got with him. I'm sure you and everybody else do. I said we're not you know, just super bashing the guy. We just speaking the truth.
Yeah, we've spoken the truth. That's why I said there are things that I've chosen to say and chosen to say it with discipline. You know, it's like it's not recklessness.
Right, not at all.
If you know, if he were in the gym where I worked or something like that, he would get that from me. It's like, and if he couldn't take it, he had to go. Because it's like, if you're going to be undisciplined to that degree, what do they do to mad dogs? Trick? What do they do to mad dogs?
Put them down.
See? And that's not threatening. What that is, that's a revelation of what's true in life. If you're going to be like a mad dog out here, the streets, the world, it'll deal with you. It will. That's a disciplined man. There's nothing like a disciplined man who knows how to harness his energies and to allow the manifestation of what goes on up here become a power play in his choices in life and how he moves in life. Because even if the body is paralyzed, but the mind is working, the mind is thinking about survival. But if the mind is in the dumpster, there's only one place you can find the body. To be right there with the mind in the dumpster.
Wow. I'm looking in the chat. I forgot about something too. Watcher put up there that Zab Judah pulled a gun out on Josh Clowney. I forgot all about that. I heard about him knocking a guy out. He knocked out. I heard him in Busta Rhymes. I heard Busta Rhymes put his hands on him, so Zab defended himself. But I also heard Zab knocked another guy out. You know, when he was, you know, coming up and stuff like that. So, wow.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you ever hear about Tommy Hearns knocking somebody out in the streets?
Never.
Did you ever hear about Sugar Ray Robinson knocking somebody out in the streets? Muhammad Ali knocking out somebody in the streets? Sugar Ray Leonard, you know. See, that tells you something. It tells you something. Yeah, absolutely, man. You ain't heard about Deontay knocking nobody out in the streets. You know, Earl Spence. You know, this is what I'm talking about. It's like all of that stuff, man. This is why when it came down to big fights, just think about this for a moment. How many big fights did Zab win?
I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait too, man. The only fight that actually kind of put him over the top to get him to the title, he stopped David Sample. That's the only fight that kind of got him somewhere. Other than that, man, he lost the Costa Zoo fight, the Cotto fight. Did he fight Paulie Malignaggi? Brooklyn.
I don't remember if he fought Paulie or not, but I know he lost to Danny Garcia.
Yeah, he lost to Danny Garcia. Man, oh my goodness, man. Yeah, Zab didn't win any big fights, man.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
See, and I say that for a reason. The truth hurts, man.
Yeah.
The truth hurts. Had he been a different type of individual, character-wise, he would have had more to add in the ring. But when you don't have that, there's a cutoff point. Same thing with Mike Tyson. The way of a warrior has to have a certain discipline, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. Because they take most of what they do and they channel that energy into that physicality and everything, because there's a certain amount of mental that goes with that. But when you're all over the place, that means you've put that energy all over the place. So it's not enough of it where it needs to be at an appropriate time. So you come up short. That's the easiest way to say it.
Yeah, and it seems these fighters, just these young fighters today, like you just look at like Cobra, like, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Kirk Johnson one time, and he told me that he was in a club one night, minding his own business, man. He said, guy come up to him talking crazy. Oh man, you lost this fight. You know, you didn't do this and that fight, this and that. And he said the guy was all up in his face, and like he wanted to, he squared up to him. And Kirk was like, he was telling him, he said, if I hit this dude, he may not wake up. So you gotta have, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have some kind of discipline. Like I said, I'm not saying that'd have been somebody like I'll say Zab. Zab might have would have hit the dude. You know what I'm saying? Old Zab probably would have hit him.
But also, what comes with the type of lifestyle that you have as a world-class fighter, right? Mm-hmm. Should you like really be frequenting those venues and stuff like that?
Right.
Maybe not. You know, I'm not high class, and I didn't frequent a lot of places. And guess what? I kept myself out of a lot of trouble. And I know brothers that I knew and grew and rolled with and everything. Oh man, you should have been there. So-and-so got shot. So-and-so got into a fight. So-and-so did it. No, I shouldn't have been there.
No, I shouldn't have been there. No.
I was where I needed to be, away from that foolishness. Huh? It's just like that football player that went to the nightclub and had the gun on him and shot himself.
Plaxico.
Yeah.
You know, Plaxico, bro. Just shot himself. Yeah, man.
Dude, if you got to go out and carry the gun with you like that, maybe that ain't where you need to be going. Huh?
Get you some security or something, some bodyguards, man.
Dude, I'm just saying. You know, it's about choices. Life is about choices.
Yep. Yeah, I never thought how you shoot yourself, man. I mean, you just like say you there jamming in the club and pow, what the look at that shot his damn self, man. But you know what? They punished him and gave him some time, but I'm like, shooting himself should have been his punishment right there. You big dumb, why you bringing a gun in the club, man? So,
you're lucky he lived. He could have killed himself. Or somebody else.
Killed Janet, shot his damn self, man. They clowned him on that one, man. ESPN clowned him on that one, man. So, wow. Yep.
Dude, it's crazy. But hey, man, we've had a great show, Trick, and I'm glad that you came in to rock with me, man. And really salute to you and everything you do, man, with lining the fighters up and having them on the show and all of that, man. It's great that we got someone like you that's able to make these things happen. And yeah, put your Cash App in the chat there, so people will know how to hit you up, man. Do that, and you know, maybe somebody would like to show you some love there. And go ahead and also give us some final thoughts on our show for this evening.
Man, it was great, man. You know, this first time I just actually, me and you been on the panel kind of together without Drew, man. And
yeah,
man, you said some great things, man. And I'm, you know, you and Kano, man, just it's like I say, man, you know, just being on here with you, man, and you know, every now and then we talk outside of, you know, the scenes or whatever, man. It's always good to talk to you, man. You're a good brother. You got great boxing knowledge, man. And one thing that stands out to me, man, we had Jeff Mayweather on the phone. He sat there and he was like quiet because of the way you was talking to him about boxing. And man, he likes you, man. And I want to definitely get Jeff back on the show. And once again, man, it was just, you know, great being on here, man. We touched on some good things. And you know, at the end of the day, man, we want to see the best fights. and just try to make the sport a little bit better than what it is, man.
Tell Jeff to subscribe to my channel, man.
Okay.
So I can have a big name on my channel.
And one more thing, man. I listen, man. I'm tell you, I'm ready for the monkey wrench, man. I want to do that show because
I got my little blackboard up here where I write down stuff that we intend to do in the future. And under the 3 wise men, the monkey wrench is right there, number 1.
and I'm sure that Scrap has some stuff about some fights that should have happened, man. So man, I can't wait for that one, man. Like I say, you know, when you brought it up the other night in the chat room, I started putting some more fights together. Like, oh man, what about this fight and that fight? So I'm at the start. Because I had them in my old phone. I want to go back and see if I can get, because I sent myself a text message, and since I'll be working, I'll be like, that fight. But I definitely want to do that monkey wrench, man.
Yeah, definitely, and make sure you keep all of those notes so we'll have, you know, a whole bunch of situations to talk about. So, you know, I'm excited to do that one. So I haven't forgotten.
Oh, I know. And one thing, everybody in the chat, man, I've been reading the chat and same time talking and listening to you, man. Everybody in the chat, man, made some good points, man. This guy Renzo Patterson, man, the Chicano Prophet, Zenith 360. Man, them guys made some good points in here, man. I was reading what they were saying. Also, you know, Kurt Anderson. Man, them guys made some good. Watcher made great points, and I was reading some stuff they were saying, man. So, hey, salute to y'all, man. Y'all made some great points, and it was great seeing y'all in here. But hey, Storm, I gotta go. I gotta pick my daughter up, man. She, I let her swim a little longer than what she should have been swimming, but she's having fun, man. So I gotta go to work at 10 o'clock too, man. So I gotta pick up and come back and lay down for a little bit.
Okay, so, well, you go ahead. It's time for us to end it anyway. So thank you again for what you did for us this evening, man. And we appreciate you, and we'll be working together again soon.
Yeah, I think tomorrow, you know, Drew wants to do a show tomorrow. Yeah. So hopefully we get the guests on, because they want to talk today, but you know, it's all good. We try to get them back on tomorrow. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll be ready as well. All right. Thank you, Stormy, man. I appreciate you, brother.
All right. You take care, bro.
All right. You too.
All right, peace. And salute to everybody that's out there in the chat, man. And thank you guys for tuning in. We're just wrapping up the show now, and don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. We really appreciate everybody that hung with us for the entire show. For those who just stopped in for a moment or two, appreciate you all as well. This has been a great boxing talk, man. We called this one positive. What? You know, it's funny. I had a toxic positivity. Who's raising these individuals? That was the title of this evening's stream. And salute to Drew Titan, who gave me the opportunity to work in his stead this evening, because he's enjoying his day off with the family. And I hope I did him justice for his time frame there. And we're going to get on up out of here. Peace to everybody. Stormy B-Man will be back for Tuesday on the Tuesday Tussle. And peace to everybody. Have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. We out of here.